everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maticus Valentine Cole. Welcome back to another video. Okay guys, we're going to talk a little bit today about a topic that I have touched on in the past. So before you wait. Matt, repeat, really? Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to touch on some new stuff. But to kind of give you an idea what we're going to talk about, this topic came in a suggestion from the beautiful Melissa at Poetic Temptation on Instagram, and my buddy Dom from Dom in Darkness, also on Instagram. Thank you guys for your support, and for every other subscriber that I've got that's been helping me with the channel to grow. And as always, please remember to make sure that you leave a like, leave comments, especially on topics like this, because it's important that voices are heard, and you will be heard here. Yeah. All right, so to give you an idea of what the topic's going to be, listen to this. Microaggressions, empty suggestions, ignorance never wise, children believing lies. Back in the day, we knew our way. We heard hateful talk, and we were tripped when we walk. But we rose stronger. Our perspective grew longer. We learned humility too, but failed to teach that lesson to you. But more so, we knew this: life can't be filled with bliss. You can't make people give a crap, and you can't cry from every slap. You need to learn before you can teach. You need to be humble before you can preach. A closed mind should never speak. They cause more damage in the chaos that they wreak. So before you try to influence the masses, first take the stick from your collective asses. Then you'll teach by example wise. Then self-revelation will unravel all the knotted lies. If you can't do this, if you continue to scream and hiss, then how can we say that we are free when political correctness has bound and gagged me? Okay. So yeah, you guys guessed it. We're talking a little bit more about political correctness. Now, to make sure that I don't go on this long, blabby rant, I'm going to break down the poem that I just read to you, which I liked, and hope you liked, and kind of break this down for you, because this is important. Okay. The first part of the poem, it read, microaggressions, empty suggestions, ignorance never wise, children believing lies. This actually goes into part from the utter, complete, and total bullshit that social justice warriors have been blathering about now for a few years. And look, I believe in our kids. I think that they have voices that should be heard. And I think that, and I'm not saying that all the points that they want to make are completely devoid of merit. I mean, on a philosophical standpoint, yeah, I mean, we all should be nicer to each other and not go out of our way to be a dick about certain things. But here's where that gets lost. You cannot get up on a pulpit and say, you must do this, and you must do this, and you must do this. Otherwise, if you do, then you're this negative, and this negative, and this negative, and this negative. I submit it's possible to be a dick or say something dickish or douchebaggish without actually being an asshole. It's a truth that's been around since the dawn of freaking time. I mean, look, this country is based on many different freedoms. I mean, ultimately, yeah, this country is founded on the fact that at the time we didn't like British rule. We didn't like a crown telling us how to live and how to be, how to practice our religion, how to run a country, and they were dickish with us. And but they're not anymore. We love England now. We love Ireland. We love Scotland. You know, we love Europe, Spain. We love Mexico. We even love. There are some aspects of every culture, even if we don't get along with their government. Look, we may not appreciate everything that happens in China, but I love my mushu chicken. Mm. I don't know that's crass, but who gives a shit? I have the right to say that. I have the right to say stupid crap like that because why? I have freedom of speech. I can say whatever the fuck I want about whoever I want and however way I want. You have the right to be offended by whatever I say and however I say it or however you perceive it. But a lot of people confuse with what is said with intent because they don't bother to look past the the context. They don't look past the verbiage to actually see the context and see the perspective. They don't ask, why do you believe that? They just simply go, well, you believe that, therefore you suck. Well, it's kind of hypocritical for people to say that this person's being an asshole because they say this, and that person's being a dick because they're saying that, and that person's an absolute fucking asshole because they think this. And then try to justify being a dick yourselves in the name of justice. It's stupid. It is. You can't say, well, you can't do this and this when you have to do this and this and this. Telling someone you have to do something in the same breath that they have to do this and they're not allowed to do this is the same damn thing. It's the same shit. It's the same dance. It's just a different tune. Okay? And whenever you got kids on college campuses who have such a bug up about jokes that are told in a stand-up comedy show, it's comedy, it's satire, it's a joke. Jokes are supposed to push the envelope. Jokes are supposed to push boundaries. They're supposed to help us to find the serious and make fun of it because it helps us to gain perspective. And through perspective, knowledge is gained and also wisdom. Okay? Now, going to the second part of the piece where it says, back in the day, we knew our way, we heard hateful talk, and we were tripped when we walked. Well, look, I went to high school. So did my parents. So did your parents. So did their parents. And there were bullies, and then there were assholes. There were jocks that gave shit to the underclassmen. There were prom queens that gave crap to a lot of the girls who weren't beautiful, who they said weren't beautiful enough, or said they were this or that. Mean, stupid shit by mean, stupid people. They've been around forever. And what people fail to realize is that that will never change. Why? Because the people that are doing it are children. They're kids. They're learning to find their way. And, you know, I've gone to class reunions and stuff like that, and it never ceases to amaze me that the people that were kind of dickish back in the day, they kind of feel bad about how dickish they were. Not all of them. Some of them grew up to be even bigger douchebags. But so what? That's their right. Last time I checked, they were an American, and they're allowed to do that sort of shit. Just like I'm an American, I'm allowed to do the kind of shit that I do. Just like you're an American, you're allowed to do the kind of shit you do, whether I agree with you or not, whether I'm offended by what you do or not, whether I agree with you or not. You have the right to be you. And nobody, not a social justice warrior, not a MGTOW chauvinist, not a left-wing feminist, no one has the right to tell you to be or feel ashamed for being who you are. Because in the end, one thing that we all agree on is we all believe that whatever we think and do and feel are right. That's a lot of opinions. That's a lot of perspectives. And that translates to a lot of humble people and a lot of assholes, a lot of brilliant people and a lot of ignoramuses. And the ignoramuses still have things to contribute. Everyone has something to contribute. Everybody has something that they have the right to teach, and we have the right to either listen or not. You don't like what someone has to say? Go away. You don't like what this person's political views are? Don't listen. Go do something else. Don't protest their right to speak. Look, everyone has their opinion on Milo. Everyone has their opinion on Ben Shapiro. Everyone has their opinion on Bill Maher. Everyone has their opinion on Jimmy Kimmel. Donald Trump has his opinion. And there's a lot of times when I listen to some of these guys and I'm thinking, they have one or two good points. And then they have other opinions where I'm like, the hell? Then they have other opinions where I'm like, seriously? But I don't get up on a rant and tell them that they can't be who they are, they can't think the way they think. They have that right. We all have that right, you guys. And this blanket of political correctness is killing us. Absolutely killing us. Which goes into the third section of the poem. We rose stronger. Our perspective grew longer. We learned humility too, but failed to teach that lesson to you. That's really, really, really important. Guys, I'm of the opinion that parents have dropped the ball with their kids in this respect. We've spent too much time letting kids develop their own opinions without taking the time to influence those opinions with our own life experience and giving them the perspectives that they need to combine what they believe they know with what we know and then find the truth somewhere in between. Instead, where do the kids get their wisdom from? They get them from YouTube. They get them from their friends. They get them from social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, everywhere else except for the place where you can actually get real life historical wisdom and knowledge, which is your parents. It's your family. Some of the best times I ever had was listening to my grandpa talk stuff. I mean, my grandpa was on my dad's side, was a Florida swamp rat. And he had some perspectives that made me laugh my ass off. Because even though he wasn't a racist, to hear my grandpa talk about certain things, you would not think that. Because in the South, that's what they did, But I know he didn't have any animosity towards people of color, but how he spoke and influenced by how he was raised, it created an interesting juxtaposition between the two, where there was a man who didn't have a racist bone in his body, but actually had outward attitudes that could be perceived in this day and age as being racist. But he's not. God rest his soul. My dad, who was taught by this man, not even remotely a racist. And he and my mother taught me that there are differences between cultures, but there's something to learn from every culture. And my mother, in particular, taught me that before we are human beings, we are spiritual beings. And therefore, we are all family. And that resonated with me, which is what led me to my beliefs and philosophies when it comes to things like race and religion and politics and things like that. Whenever I see races not getting along, what I see are family members who are squabbling over stupid shit. And there's a lot of people that will talk about, well, Matt, racism isn't stupid. Yeah, racism is extremely stupid. Talking about racism isn't stupid. No, but you don't counter racism with racism. You can't say that white people are the enemy and black people don't do anything wrong. You can't say that, you know, you can't say that, you know, Spanish people are all illegal immigrants, and yet everybody who came from Canada is is okay. That's stupid. Let me tell you something. Every aspect of humanity, whether you are black or white or gay or straight or Christian or Muslim or Jewish or atheist, agnostic, every individual in those particular groups run the same spectrum between good, bad, and what the fuck, just like everybody else. And as an American, we have a responsibility to not just stand up for our own rights, but also stand up for the rights of others, for them to do the things that they feel are important to them, even if what they're doing is absolute anathema to what we believe. Because we're human beings, and then we're also Americans, and we're also children of the world. We're also people who have got cultures that span the globe, and we want to honor our ancestry, but we don't want to repeat their mistakes. Which then comes down to the next piece. But more so, we knew this: life can't be filled with bliss. You can't make people give a crap, and you can't cry from every slap. This is so important, you guys. Do you think every kid who's been bullied today went through a unique and completely unrelatable experience by anybody else? Bullshit. People from my generation have been bullied. They've been beaten up. They've been accosted. They've been verbally harassed, verbally abused, made to cry. And we even had a couple of people make a tragic decision and take their own life. In my dad's generation, same shit. His dad's generation, same shit. It's the same dance, just a different tune, generation after generation. But here's the difference. When I was younger, before I had gotten to be big and strong and I was picked on, dude. Who gives a shit? And whenever I got hurt, I cried. I had wore my heart on my sleeve. I've always been a very emotional human being. And I always had my mom saying, Matt, it's okay. And then my dad saying, Matt, buck up. It's okay. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's true. And then one time I had a summer growth spurt, and then I became bigger than the people that were picking on me, and they left me alone. Not everybody is blessed in that way, but those who aren't didn't get up on a soapbox and scream social injustice. They stayed quiet. They got smarter. They got more experienced. They got stronger. Then they became millionaires. There is no better revenge than success. You don't like the way your life is, guys, you have the right to change it. Get an education. Learn to forgive. I'm not saying that if someone hits you in the face, that you should say, thank you, sir, may I have another? But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And look, you have the ability and the intelligence to choose whether you let an experience make you weak, make you a victim, or you choose to let it make you stronger. And then if you do choose to be stronger, then it's your responsibility to use that strength and pass that along to the next generation. Teach them what you can learn. But the problem is we got a lot of people that are so hooked into social media that all they can really quote are philosophies that are derived from memes of people who are just as dumb as the shit that they're spewing. And it doesn't help people, you know? It goes into the next line. You need to learn before you teach. You need to be humble before you preach. A closed mind should never speak. They cause more damage than the chaos they wreak. Guys, we have college students, people who are going to institutions of higher education, and they are coming to the conclusion that communism and socialism is somehow preferable to democracy. Oh my God, McCarthy is spinning in his grave. Are there elements of communism and socialism that have positive value? Yes. But the one or two things in socialism and communism that are potentially good, at least from a philosophical standpoint, doesn't excuse the 9 or 10 other things that make it an absolute pile of dog shit and something that is completely against everything that this country stands for and every free country stands for. It's guys, you cannot look at any one thing from one perspective. You've got to look at it from multiple perspectives, find out what they all have in common, and try to extrapolate using this to find the truth. Next. So before you try to influence the masses, first take the stick from your asses. Then you'll I love that line. Then you'll teach by example wise. Then self-revelation will unravel the knotted lies. And that's actually another very important point, guys. Before you get up on a soapbox and try to make people listen, use this. Use this. And whatever this and this agree on, do. And if your heart says yes and your brain says no, don't do it. If your brain says yes and your heart says no, don't do it. That's where bullshit comes from. But the stuff that this and this agree on, that's closer to truth than anything else you'll ever learn and know. You don't do what your friends do. You don't do what society does. Listen, you've got all the tools necessary to make a good decision, but you're not using it. You're using the philosophies of people who don't have your best interests in heart. You do not want to live in a world where you cannot speak your mind. You don't want to live in a world where your actions are the catalyst that causes others to judge your character. You don't want to live in a world where you can't walk, talk, breathe, or dream in the way that only you can walk, talk, and dream and breathe. Political correctness is the suffocation of the soul, and we are all turning blue from the lack of breath. Which goes to the last line. If you can't do this, if you continue to scream and hiss, then how can we say that we are free when political correctness has bound and gagged me? You can't live in a free society unless the society is free. You can't say there's only one way. We all have our own way. It's our own way. And we live our lives according to the law of the land, to whatever religion we belong to the lessons our parents teach us, filtered through our own experience. And I'm going to end this by simply stating this. If what you do brings people together in a joyous noise, all people, every person, whether you like them or not, then what you're doing is admirable and it should be explored. But if what you're doing divides us, if it says we're right and the rest of you suck, and you'll continue to suck until you either look like me or act like me or be like me, then you're the problem. And you're a problem that can't not be solved because the problem started here and didn't check with this, or it started here and didn't check with this. and you went rampant, blathering about nothing and poisoning everything you believe you want. But it's not hopeless. Because one thing I never hear anybody talk about when they talk about issues of this kind, whether it's feminism or socialism or chauvinism or racism, no one ever talks about faith. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about believing in something that you can't see. That's what faith is. And even though I can't see the totality of humanity's potential, I believe that it's there. And I believe ultimately the reason why we're struggling so much is that we're really trying hard to find our way. And it doesn't help that we've got an idiot in the Oval Office that is making everybody nervous. And it doesn't help that we've got people that are protesting freedom of speech at Berkeley of all fucking places. Jesus Christ, learn this history of your school before you wipe your ass on the drapes. Sometimes a problem can be solved through silent contemplation than through boisterous ignorance. I don't know. I may be wrong. I don't know. But it feels right. But guys, tell me what you think. I've been talking for damn near 30 minutes about this shit. But I want to hear what you think. And look, you want to say something mean to me? Say something mean to me. I don't care. You want to say something nice to me? Thank you. I appreciate you and I love you. But guys, let's work a little harder on being good people and less on being a kind of people. Don't be a dick. Don't be a douche. Don't be an ass. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's how you teach by example. And that'll fix a lot. Sometimes the simplest solution is the correct one. All right, guys, that's it for me. Please do me a favor. If you like the video, give it a liker, thumbs up, subscribe. Keep the shadows at your feet and forever out of your heart. I loves you. I appreciate you. Latest.